Don't buy expensive laundry soap at the store. Homesteaders make their own laundry soap.
I'm Becky. I used to live in the consumer rat race just like you. But one day I had enough, so I sold it all, moved to the country, and built my own log cabin with my own two hands. Now I spend my time discovering new ways to live a simple, healthy lifestyle with more free time and way less stress. Then sharing what I've learned with you. Welcome to Becky's Homestead.
I'm going to show you what you need to make Becky's homemade laundry soap. This soap is just fantastic. It cleans the clothing really well, and it's the thing I barter with the most on the homestead. First, we're going to start with the cleaning ingredients that we're going to use. We're going to use a bar of Zote soap. This is my favorite. I think it makes the best laundry soap. It's going to turn this bar into 10 gallons of liquid laundry soap. And the second cleaning product we're going to add a little bit to the mixture is this 20 Mule Team Borax. And then the next thing we're going to need to make the soap is a grater. And we're going to use the big part of the grater. I get a 5-gallon paint stick stirrer, which is like 50 cents. You can buy it at Lowe's or Home Depot. I bought an auto funnel. It's long and it's tilted. So I'll show you why I love that tilt in a minute. I went to the thrift store and I bought specifically a 1/2-gallon pitcher. You want to get a good sturdy one. I think this is an old Tupperware pitcher. Very sturdy 1/2-gallon, because when we make the laundry soap in our gallon recycled milk jugs, the soap is double strength. So it works perfect to put a 1/2 gallon of the soap into the milk jug, and then the rest is water, warm water. And then the next thing we need is a nice 5-gallon bucket. I get an orange one because that way everybody knows the orange bucket is my soap bucket and you better not touch it. That's clear. And then what I use in the house to measure my soap out, because it is strong soap and it works really well, is this little, it's not a tin cup, like a little enamel cup. Alrighty then. We're going to get started on how to do it. What I'm going to do is get this big bar out. This part takes a second, and this might be the hardest part of the whole procedure, is grating the big bar of soap. So it does take a second. But thank goodness soap is softer than cheese, so it goes pretty quick. I'm getting tired. Oh my gosh, my arms are ready to fall off. We're down to the last little tiny piece, which take 2 minutes maybe to grade the bar. And what I want to show you here at the very end, I get it as small as I can. And the last little nubbin that you can't really grate, I just throw it in there because it's the queen piece. Okay, step 2. We're going to get 3 gallons of hot water from the tap and we're going to add them to the bucket. All right, and we're going to use our 5-gallon paint stick and we're going to stir that up a bit while I run and get the next gallon of hot water. Okay, this is gallon number 2. I love my laundry soap because it is gentle, but it still cleans really, really well. My friend Nancy has goats, and when it's like breeding time for the goats, the male goat is so stinky. Now she has a male goat that's so big you can ride it. Well, that smell gets on Nancy's clothing, and her soap never gets the smell out. And when we go places or do something, I tease her and tell her she smells like an old goat. So finally, and she says, I wash the clothes and wash the clothes. And so finally I said, well, you have to try my homemade laundry soap. I'm sure that'll get it clean. Well, sure enough, she is a steady customer now. Every time Nancy's out of soap, she calls over here and says, oh, I need some more laundry soap. And it's so funny because we have our little thing we say back and forth. And I'll always say, what do you got over there? Because we barter. So we always barter something, but now Nancy gets all her clothing perfectly clean, smells good, it gets all the odors out of the fabric. So I would say that's the number one thing I love about my laundry soap. All right, I'm going back for the 3rd gallon. Okay, so here's the 3rd and final gallon for today, because this is all we have to do today, and then we let it sit overnight. But as I'm dumping this in, I want to tell you, I cannot stand the high price of laundry soap in the store. I think it's such a ripoff. And if you buy the cheap laundry soap, all that is perfume. I don't like that either. It doesn't really clean the fabric. It just makes it smell perfumey. So that is a huge turnoff to me. One thing I do want to tell you about this homemade laundry soap is when you put it in the washer with the clothes and then you look in there, there are no bubbles. Bubbles are a chemical. It just makes bubbles. Bubbles has nothing to do with the soap and the soap cleaning the clothing. Alrighty, we've added the Zote, 3 gallons of hot water, and now we let it sit for a day. The soap has been sitting for 24 hours. I'm going to add 2 more gallons of hot water. Alrighty, this is number 4. What I want to talk about is the 20 Mule Team Borax. What that does, and we're going to add that in a minute, that brightens your clothing. If you would prefer your soap really, really gentle, don't add the borax. Alrighty, let me go get the final gallon. This is the 5th and final gallon. When you might see these few bubbles when you're making it and think, oh, there are bubbles. But that's really just from the water blugging into the bucket. And you can either scrape those off or they kind of just go away. And that's okay because bubbles are just an added chemical for show. It has nothing to do with cleaning. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the borax. And I'll show you how much I add. And you could always add a little more of this if you're doing whites and you don't like to use Clorox. Now, I'm not even going to add a full cup of this. So that I'd say that's a cup. That's 8 ounces of the borax. And you just dump that in there. And then I make sure at this point I do give it a good stir. Now you just want to stand here and stir the soap up for probably a good 3 or 4 minutes. And there you go. You will have the best laundry soap. You will probably never buy laundry soap from the store again. You will feel it's such a waste of money when you see for $1, a little more than $1, you can make 10 gallons of soap. It is so amazing. Okay, so this is 2 days later. This is what the soap will look like after it sits. It has to sit a little while to turn into this gooey gel. As you can see, when you set the milk jug down and you have your funnel in position, it lips over the top of the bucket. That's what I like, just so any little dribbles go either way. You don't make a mess. Okay, this is how I fill my milk jugs. I always stir the soap first because it will be kind of gel. You can see how it trails. It doesn't really stop pouring. So then I just pour it in here, and you have to kind of go slow because otherwise it will overflow the funnel because it's thick. This is the hardest part of making your own laundry soap, is filling the jugs whenever you need them. Don't forget to stop filling it half full because this is double strength. Then what you're going to need to do is fill the rest up with warm water from the tap in the house. Make sure you give it a good shake, and every time before you use it, give it a little shake. Then I use this little cup as my measuring cup when I do my laundry. I just have that sitting in there on the windowsill, and then 1 cup per load. And it is so good. It cleans really, really well. So it's very economical. Great soap. I can't say enough about it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, please email me in doodles. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye.